series 22-11, and James Scott ready to jump against Cameron Corhen. A.J. Desai throws it up along with Tommy Morrissey, Kip Kissinger, and away we go from the Ville. The Cardinals have the tip, tied for second with Clemson coming into today in the league. And the Cardinals, Javon Hadley over to Hepburn, Scott, Smith, Edwards. It is an incredible starting five as Chucky Hepburn gets fouled off his own miss. Not a very deep Louisville team, but a dynamite starting five.
And already, I mean, the offensive glass has been a real problem for Pitt. I mean, Jeff Capel has talked, first of all, about their defensive stamina. Guarding for the full 30 seconds and then finishing those possessions with a rebound. They are giving up 12 points a game on second chances. And it's just really, it's put a ton of pressure on their defense.
And that first meeting, to your point, Louisville had 22 second chance points, plus 12 on the glass, and Hepburn, who had a 17 free throw attempt game a week ago, goes 2 for 2. Here's the starting five for Pitt. Pat Kelsey said Ish Leggett and Jaland Lowe are as talented as any backcourt in the league. Austin, a great 3-and-D guy, Corhen and Diaz-Graham. And it's Austin who gets free inside for the stub.
Nice to get a dunk, and nice to get somebody other than Lowe or Leggett to get your first points of the game.
Neither team very deep. Of course, the injury to Damian Dunn for Pitt, out for the season with a fractured elbow. Louisville's had all kinds of injuries. Hepburn into the paint again. He's got the first 4.
Because of how Louisville shoots it, and they put 4 guys out there who can take threes, take and make threes, the gravity that creates gives you great spacing, and it opens up those drives, and all 4 of those guys around James Scott can put it on the deck.
There's Corhen. Leggett will take a 3. That rainbow is well short. And the Louisville bench celebrating as they were all shoot-arounds. Edwards will roll it up the floor for Louisville. A Cardinal team is picked 9th in the ACC. They're going to finish somewhere in the top 3. Hadley off the cut. The Colorado transfer who's been so good of late, can't score with the left. And eventually Lowe really got bear hugged by his teammate. Corhen emerges. Knocked away by Scott. Great hands for the Louisville big, and he turns it right back over. Lowe from Leggett. Inside Corhen with a flush.
Nice drop off there. Corhen, you know, the 2 bigs trying to play guard and handle Scott in the open floor led to the turnover.
Louisville turns it over a second straight time with a Hepburn lob.
You know, it's the priority defensively today for Louisville is you've got to control Jaland Lowe, particularly out of ball screens. He is so dynamic, getting downhill, getting into that paint.
Pat Kelsey said he may be the fastest player we see all year. As that pass way too strong from Austin.
Both teams sloppy.
Well, it was a 9:30 a.m. shoot-around today, and it feels like everybody in the Louisville program had about 6 shots of espresso beforehand. It was rowdy, it was energetic, it was authentic. That is the Pat Kelsey way. He told us, I don't know any other way but to have our managers and GAs bring more energy than any other managers and GAs in the country. Coming over from the College of Charleston, his team tied with Michigan, the largest win-to-win improvement from a season ago. Wolverines, of course, also with a new head coach in Dusty May. Here's Diaz-Graham from Lowe. Another missed 3, rebound to Scott.
And Lowe particularly loves going left. You've got to try to shade him to get him going to his right hand. He's a completely different player going right.
Lowe gets caught up with Edwards here, trying to defend him. Edwards off the back of the rim and down.
Again, it's the spacing and then the versatility of Terrence Edwards and Javon Hadley. They are so good on the drive, penetrating, and they can play that bully ball like Edwards just did right there. Use their bodies.
Austin, too strong on a 3. Here's Rain Smith. Louisville's best 3-point shooter will pull up and feed Edwards. Edwards given space, and he buries it.
And they don't pop a 3 in your face. I mean, that's what I'm saying. They've had 3 different guys go for 30 this year, and Terrence Edwards has come close to doing that.
At 27 against Miami a couple of weeks ago. Hepburn at the first 4, Edwards the next 5. Lowe tried to squeeze it in between Scott and Edwards. Edwards, Smith, Hadley, and Hepburn was way above the rim but knocked it out of bounds. Great energy though, great start for these Louisville Cardinals at home. A 9-4 lead against Pitt. Good stuff.
And that Damian Dunn injury really affected them. You know, his defense, his ability to score. He's a veteran presence, a 5th-year guy. So not having him has put a lot more pressure on Jaland Lowe and Ish Leggett to have to score, and then they're kind of hoping somebody else gives them production.
Trying to find breaks has been hard for those two as Leggett hits the first Pitt 3 of the game. Ish Leggett, 35% three-point shooter.
And he's gone to another level, Ish Leggett. You know, he's even playing better in the last 4 than he has all season.
20 a game for Leggett in those 4. His season average 16.5. Lowe's at 16.7. Here's Smith with a very deep 3. No good. Traore. Boubacar Traore couldn't throw it off of Corhen. And here's Leggett in transition. Hepburn quickly down to get Corhen. Leggett, Austin. Nice swing, and Austin can't convert on the 3. It will stay with Pitt.
You like the ball movement. 3 early turnovers from Pitt. One of the best things they've done all year is take care of the ball, but Camp Corhen caught it on the block there.
It's a Pitt team that had a 3-turnover game earlier this season at Syracuse, tied a school record. Low of them is 3. And here's Hepburn for Louisville. Ryan Smith 7 threes in that first game against Pitt. Haven't gotten him a clean look yet. And Traore turns it over. There's a 3rd turnover for Louisville.
James Scott back in the card, replacing Edwards.
Two teams that are pretty good taking care of the ball with a sloppy start. Scott returns to replace Edwards for Louisville. Leggett, left-handed, fine into Corhen underneath to tie it.
Corhen is so active.
Hepburn barreling his way in. He draws a foul.
This is a really good pass, but it starts with the energy from Corhen. You know, just playing off, finding the front of the rim, rolling down that middle of the paint. And a really good find.
What do you like about Corhen's game, and where are the next steps for him?
There's a bounce to him. You know, he plays with a really good motor. There's an offensive game that's developing. You know, he can play out of that short roll, out of that pocket, can hit a face-up shot. You know, the one thing, given his size and his energy, you'd think he'd be a little bit more of a better rebounder. You know, he's only averaging 5 rebounds a game. Like, he should be up around 8, 9 rebounds a game, given his physical intangibles. But I like him. Like, I think he's been a good fit. Spent 2 seasons at Florida State. And you know how Leonard Hamilton plays. I mean, you're in the game, you're out of the game, you're only going to play about 20 minutes. So he's playing a lot more minutes here at Pitt.
Last 2 games, 32 points, was 14 for 17 from the field. He's 2 for 2 today. Louisville back on top as Hepburn's got 4 for 4 from the line. There's Lowe for Pitt, which is still yet to make a substitution. Lowe leads it short. Corhen's in there. Lowe's on the ground, and it squirts out to Hepburn. Noah Waterman on the floor for the first time for Louisville, 93. And Hepburn finds him. And Waterman drills it.
That's all Chucky Hepburn. He comes barreling down in transition, and then he just starts playing like Steve Nash, in and out of the paint, and then he's going to find the open shooter.
Gets Noah Waterman up over 1,000 career points. And he's all over Diaz-Graham here. Scott nearly knocks it away. Pitt deep in the shot clock. Deflected again by Scott. Here's Smith. Look out. Knocked away to Lowe. Just a lump in your throat moment if you're the opposing team, and Smith gets a shot up. Leggett through the lane. Wild shot will not go. Down to Smith. Waterman passes up to 3 this time. Airmails a 2.
You like that Pitt is playing at a slower tempo. I mean, not even just slowing it after that exchange. I think they wanted to come out and force Louisville to defend, shrink the possessions in this game.
Lowe takes a hard hit and he finishes with the offhand.
Fouls out number 0, James Scott, his first team first. In the game for the Cardinals, Terrence replacing Scott.
There's a Hepburn 3 moments ago. The Hepburn assist to set up the Waterman 3. So Chucky Hepburn with 6 points and an assist early. But a great finish by Jaland Lowe on this end. Second best free throw shooter in the ACC at 88%. Lowe will take a seat for the first time before the 12-minute media timeout. Freshman Brandon Cummings is in. Pitt with Papa Amadou Kante, 6'10", big from Senegal, in the game as well, on the ball right now. Hadley's really been working inside. He gets it against Leggett. He spins and he misses. Punched out of the air by the freshman Roots, down to Leggett. Pitt has already turned it over 4 times. Diaz-Graham for 3. Edwards trying to bully his way in. Kante slips with the ball. No travel. It's a game in dire need of a whistle right now. Sloppy for both teams. Louisville won for its last 7, and Leggett with another miss for Pittsburgh. Here's Edwards. Scores it.
What a start for Edwards.
Game high 7 for the James Madison transfer. Cummings, Hepburn all over him. Cummings, a freshman, trying to get around him. No. Here comes Waterman. Edwards again. And he won't finish this time. Somehow we still have not hit the 12-minute timeout. And Pitt will rectify that by taking a timeout, slowing this thing down. A force
is what makes him so tough.
Pat Kelsey said that to him the big story was how Terrence upped the level of his defense and how that set the tone for the rest of the team to raise their level. 50-year senior, used to compete against Pat Kelsey when James Madison was in the CAA, when Pat Kelsey was at Charleston before James Madison moved to the Sun Belt. Here's Lowe with a good look for 3, and he buries it.
And that's what Jeff Capel will do. Will get him off of the ball. You just put him underneath the basket in a floppy action, and he makes a really nice read, comes off, good shot fake as defenders fly, and he gets his space.
6 points, 4 rebounds, and assist early for Lowe. Up top, too tall for Scott. Edwards turns it over.
Because Louisville with Jaland Lowe and ball screens, they're going to send 2 to the ball. So how do you get Lowe some shots? Well, you take him off it. And if we had gone back a little further, they start him underneath the rim, and he kind of comes off on that floppy, good shot fake as defenders fly at him.
9th in the ACC in scoring, Jaland Lowe. A lot of his points come from the line, but he is capable from out there. Here's Amsel Delilich, leaves it well short. Pitt goes deep into their bench. Waterman for 3. Tapped out by Scott to Smith. Only the second offensive rebound for Louisville, so Pitt has held up well, and the shot clock did not reset. Hey, tonight NBA Saturday primetime on ABC and ESPN+. Steph Curry coming off of 56 a couple of nights ago in Orlando. Here the Warriors are in Philly to take on Paul George and the Sixers. 8:30 tip. NBA countdown starts at 8 Eastern. Warriors and the Sixers, Golden State's East Coast road trip. Scott misses a dunk. One of the leaders in field goal percentage in the country with a rare miss. On the ball against Corhen. Leggett turning around on Smith. Rebound to Hadley. Edwards transition again, and over the outstretched arm of Austin.
Heck of a move, and if you don't stop the ball higher, I mean, he's going against a freshman in Delilich, and in Terrence Edwards' eyes lit up. You've got to stop the momentum higher.
Half of Louisville's 18 for Terrence Edwards Jr. Austin. Delilich for 3. And the rainbow goes, just his 10th three-pointer of the year. And then Delilich is called for the foul as he bumps Smith. Jeff Capel appreciating his team's effort, fighting back to an 18-18 tie.
College game day is rolling.
You were mentioning their shoot-around this morning. I always say you want to know why a team is playing the way they are, go watch them practice. You want to know how a turnaround like this happens, go watch the practice. And, you know, you mentioned the energy. I think any team, winning team, the energy is a given. I think with Pat Kelsey and his player, it's the communication, both the verbal and the nonverbal. Like, there was not one negative body language moment in that workout today.
And they take the lead back. Rain Smith's first 3 of the evening. Player who came over with Pat Kelsey from the College of Charleston has just hit his 105th 3 of the year.
There just hasn't been a lot of room for Jaland Lowe to operate out of these crossing actions, these on-ball screens. And that's how teams are playing Pitt, toward down the stretch of this season. And they are just not going to let Jaland Lowe beat them off of the dribble.
Lowe, trigger the offense, splits 2, and couldn't finish on the floater. Corhen has it knocked away.
Well, and there he got a little bit of a head of steam, and then Rain Smith came up lazy. I mean, you've got to come together if you're going to guard him with 2. But he shows you the burst. That is his best quality.
Whipping into Corhen. Frank Anselm eBay in the game for the first time. Hepburn on Leggett. 5 to shoot. Leggett, step back, and a foul called against Chucky Hepburn, his first.
It's a nice little matchup there with Chucky Hepburn and yeah, so right here, I mean, just 2 outstanding offensive player in Leggett and then Chucky Hepburn, who is not only going to be first team All ACC, he's going to be in the ACC's All Defensive Team, or should be. I mean, he's had that good of a year.
Two and a half steals a game for Hepburn, and Leggett with a rare Pitt miss from the line. It's a Pitt team on pace to be the best free throw shooting team in program history, and Leggett goes 1 for 2. Hepburn, lob for Ansel and eBay, too tall. Here's the burst from Lowe. He sets up the trailer. Leggett. Austin into the front row, and Lowe just went crashing into a fan. Who I think is okay. Big smile on his face.
Fan almost took a charge.
Is it still a charge under the new block charge rule is the question. Pitt keeps possession, under 6 to play. The first half where they have tied it 4 times but have not led. Leggett, no. Diaz-Graham keeps it alive. Lowe. Squirted out to Diaz-Graham, deflected to Leggett. This is a wild possession, and it ends with a 3.
You go from almost having a pick-off by Chucky Hepburn, then your defense is in rotation, and Pitt does a nice job finding the open shooter.
First lead of the game, Guillermo Diaz-Graham, 33% from out there. Scott rolls it to Hepburn in the corner. Pat Kelsey told us they'd love to have Scott initiate. It's his 16th straight game with an assist, the Louisville big man. And the Cardinals back in front. Five to shoot it. Lowe for 3. Too strong.
That's a win if you're Louisville's defense. You want Jaland Lowe taking those shots.
Started 2 for 6, Lowe. Leggett 1 for 7. Hadley spinning into Lowe. Out of the double. Hepburn for 3. Got another! Austin answers with a friendly bounce. Hepburn thinking about another one. Make it 3! A 15-point first half for the All-ACC, maybe All-American, Chucky Hepburn. Lowe leans into it too, and another answer for Pitt.
And that's the second time Chucky Hepburn almost has a steal, and it leads to points for Pitt.
Another one. Oh my goodness! 4 for 4 for Chucky Hepburn.
Smith has yet to get going, but he's gone for 30 this year. Javon Hadley, we've yet to call his name. Slow start for him, but he's gone for 30 this year. It puts so much pressure on the opponent. Each individual defender has to be able to guard their matchup. And, you know, the way they pass it, the way they share it, the way they space it, because of that ability to make threes, it's just hard. And so you've got to take up the challenge of your matchup. And it's, you know, they've just got the ability to explode on you. But I agree with Coach. Pitt has played hard, and to withstand that onslaught from Chucky Hepburn and still only be down 4, you got to feel pretty good on the road if you're Jeff Capel.
Some good answers from Leggett and Lowe, who've combined for 14. 4-point game after Scott misses the free throws. We saw him playing with a mask because of a facial fracture suffered a couple of games ago. 6 to shoot, it's Lowe. Typically has it at the end of the shot clock. Diaz, Graham, no for 3 in the rebound Roots.
They've gotten good looks opposite, though. Pitt has. You know, taking advantage of the aggression of Louisville's defense. They have found Diaz Graham a couple times opposite. He's just got to knock that down.
Edwards rolling. Edwards comes to a stop. Waterman's the outlet. Cut off. Here's Hepburn again. Looking for another. He's got 5 in a row. Career high for threes is 6. It's 1 away in the first half. Diaz Graham, that's a really tough pass. Hepburn on the handoff, leans into it. Oh my! Will be Chucky dolls raining from the rafters shortly. Lowe will answer again. Roots. Lowe bursting down the court. Good step.
You know, again, Pitt continues to answer. I mean, this is an absolute onslaught by Chucky Hepburn. And on a couple of these, man, there's not much you can do. When a guy is feeling it, he is feeling it.
Louisville takes a timeout. We're back at 30 to the Yum Center. This is stupid.
All right, the last 3 he hit was a bit of a prayer, but this is one where once a guy's hit 4 threes, he has to dribble it. Ish Leggett, because of that screen, Noah Waterman coming up, your instinct is to back off a little bit and anticipate that screen. This one you can't help, but on that other one before, if you're Ish Leggett, he has got to dribble the basketball and you've got to get him going to the baseline.
Chucky Hepburn, 6 3-pointers, attempted 6 3-pointers made. He's tied a career high. Most points in a first half by an ACC player this year. He's got 24. And Smith is fouled. Pitt had a couple to give.
You know, it's remarkable. Played at Wisconsin last year. So did A.J. Storr. A.J. Storr has not had a good year this year for Kansas. Chucky Hepburn has become... He was good at Wisconsin. He's become a new player here at Louisville.
Smith gets it to him. Hepburn, they don't foul him. He misses a layup. Hits 6 threes, misses one at the rim. Leggett pulls up and nearly banked it in. Heck of a back and forth fight. Hepburn with 24. The best half of his career, but Pitt is hanging around. A 6-point Louisville lead after 20 minutes here at the ACC. Games to go after this. And they begin the half with Lowe for Diaz Graham, a 3, rounded out.
He's had good looks. When Jaland Lowe gets into that paint, he's small. I mean, that's where he has a hard time finishing with length around him in there.
Hadley did not score in the first half. Hepburn had 24 to match the jersey number. Edwards 9. The rest of the team had 6. Edwards again, and that shot will count. There's a goaltend.
First 5 minutes are important, though. You know, again, you can feel like you played well in the first half if you're Pitt, but this thing can get away from you quickly. This an important first 5 minutes here for Pitt.
It's a Pitt team. It's 3-7 games decided by 6 points or fewer this year. They've had trouble in these close games. There's Lowe driving it in on Hadley, and he draws his first foul.
So that's where somebody else has to step up and make a shot for Pitt. And that's where, you know, it's easy to say, well, Jaland Lowe, he's got a green light. His shot selection is spotty at times. But he's coming from a good place. Like, there's part of that dude that wants to win. He's competitive and feels a burden to put this team on his back offensively. Ish Leggett had some moments in that first half. He's got to get involved here. And then one of these other dudes, Zach Austin, Guillermo Diaz-Graham, one of these other dudes has to make a shot.
Lowe goes 2 for 2. You look at the field goal and the three-point percentages are not great, but to you it's just a lot of somebody's got to shoot it for Pitt.
Yeah, it's a volume. And he's not that type of a player, Kevin. Ooh.
Scott misses another stuff. And then Hepburn's called for a foul against Leggett. His second. He's the first player in the game with 2, so no foul trouble to speak of, which is good news for these teams who are very short right now. Low back from Austin. It's a Corhen screen. Diaz-Graham again.
Bang. That's the shot. You know, Jaland Lowe's going to draw that attention. Louisville is really in the gaps. I mean, they are not trying not to let Lowe to the basket. That's a shot that has to be hit.
High dribble by Edwards. Hadley, beg your pardon. Here comes Chucky, and he's fouled. There's Leggett's first.
You'll see Jaland Lowe gets into the gap here, and look at Chucky Hepburn. I mean, he's coming all the way off. Rain Smith all the way in the paint. They want you kicking to Diaz-Graham because they don't think he's going to make that shot consistently.
Three-point numbers have gone quite a bit down from last year's. 2 for 6 today. Edwards is fouled before the wraparound, so no shot.
That's the other thing, Kevin. Pitt did a good job in the first half of keeping Louisville off the foul line. In conference play, Louisville has made 12 more free throws than their opponents have attempted. They've attempted almost 100 more free throws than their opponents this year. I mean, that is prolific. Part of it is their willingness to drive it, and part of it is they don't foul on the defensive end.
Hadley, Pitt defends without fouling there. Lowe speeding into the lane. Out for Austin for the tie, and no good. Leggett's there for the offensive rebound. Same spot, Diaz-Graham. He can't hit this time. Edwards will drive him. Austin came down to help. Edwards just flings it up there, and we've got a foul. And Lowe is limping a little bit here across midcourt. And Jaland Lowe's going to have to hop out of this game.
Yeah.
Right on the foot of Rain Smith. And Lowe will try to jog it off in the tunnel. He's had a tremendous game with 14 and 5. So an already thin Pitt team without Dunn for the rest of the season has to turn to the freshman Brandon Cummings very early in this second half. Leggett. Diaz-Graham with a rare drive.
Nice pass.
Corhen and steps before the shot. No, we've got Louisville thought it was a travel. There's a foul called.
It's a really nice pass, though, by Guillermo Diaz-Graham. Kind of gives a look to the corner and then feeds it to Corhen. And he did travel, but I guess they saw a foul before that.
Traore hit with his first. So Cummings initiated the offense. Freshman who did have a 30-point game this year. 6 a game, and Corhen's fouled. Again, if you're Jeff Capel right now, as Wright Smith gets in Traore's face, where do you find offense without Jaland Lowe?
Well, I think Ish Leggett's got to be the guy. I mean, he's averaging 16 a game. You know, the same amount as Jaland Lowe is. Problem is, you've got really good individual defenders on Louisville, and they've put multiple different guys on him. Now they've got Terrence Edwards Jr., the length on him.
Cummings trying to take it at Hepburn. A wild shot.
Nice.
That's one way to get Leggett involved.
Well, that's what scorers will do, man. You know, they're going to find their points, and that was a great attack of the glass.
Hepburn passes up a 3. Smith, Hepburn, Edwards. Oh, Austin from out of nowhere with a rejection.
He is so good at that. He has 48, now 49 blocks on the year. And he's blocking a jump shooter there. What a play. The next closest guy on Pitt is Cam Corhen with 22. I mean, he's just, and it's always coming off of the ball.
Next block would make him 53s and 50 blocks. Is he only 50-45 as Edwards muscles his way in and draws a foul. And that's the 3rd on Cam Corhen.
It was actually Javon Hadley who took it there, and yet to score in this game. But that's what he and Terrence Edwards Jr. are so good at. Putting their head down, and they are physical drivers.
Hadley, Colorado transfer, 12.5 a game. There's his first, and good news for Pitt. Jaland Lowe is going to come back in. He'll replace Corhen. Hadley's been in double figures 15 of the last 16, and they're up by 4 despite him only scoring 2 tonight. Crowd back into it. Largest crowd at the Yum Center this season, nearly 18,500. Lowe trying to take Traore. Austin for 3.
It's over help, I think, coming off Austin that far. But Jaland Lowe going left. If you let him get left, he's a different player.
Edwards answers. Louisville now 10 for 15 from 3. Edwards with 15 points. Traore trying to force Lowe right this time, and he'll dish it to Cummings. Cummings a step back 3. It's good, and a foul. Brandon Cummings, a freshman out of Midland, Pennsylvania, has a chance to tie this at the line.
Dueling threes here. Terrence Edwards Jr. says, you're going to give me that space, I'll put one in your face. And then how about this? End of clock, Brandon Cummings. Little handle, little step back, also in your face. He's wet.
Three Notre Dame, College Game Days in South Bend, Indiana. That game noon on ESPN. So both the Cardinal men's and women's teams will be dancing this year. Number 19, Louisville, ranked in the top 25 for the first time in 4 years, but getting everything they can handle from Pitt. Brandon Cummings a chance to tie it with a potential 4-point play. By the way, the officials looked at the goaltending earlier in that sequence. Kip Kister just told us the play stands as Cummings cannot tie the game. What's impressed you, Chris, with the fight from Pitt in the second half?
A few other guys have stepped up. I mean, they're getting open looks. You know, that was a tough shot by Brandon Cummings. But they are playing off of that low penetration.
Scott is fouled. There have been more fouls in this half already than the first.
I mean, Pitt's made 3 threes, and good play there by Zach Austin on the back end. Pitt's made 3 threes, but you know, the other thing, Kevin, we talked about it at the top, they have really struggled to finish defensive possessions with a rebound. They've done a nice job keeping Louisville off of the offensive glass. They've competed. You know, I think it's as simple as that. There's been more fight from Pitt today than maybe we've seen over the last handful of games.
Their last game, a home loss to Georgia Tech on Tuesday. As Scott is now 0 for 4 at the line today. Pitt 4-10 in the last 14 after a great start to ACC play where they looked like an NCAA team. But a lot of work to do now. This would be a heck of a way to start the stretch run. Kip Kissinger's explaining his decision there to Noah Waterman, and that's his first.
Yeah, I don't know what Noah Waterman's complaining about. He's got a handful of shirt.
Automatic first down. Lowe rims it out. Austin rims it in, and Pitt's back in front. First lead of the half, first lead in a while for the Panthers. Scott looking to facilitate. Knocked away by Diaz-Graham. Cummings between his legs, and he'll go to the line.
Really good play to poke it away by Diaz-Graham, but how about Brandon Cummings, the freshman? It doesn't always look pretty, man, but he plays hard, and again, he competes. Look at this little whoop. Back to front. And, you know, crowd doesn't like it, but when you're the aggressor, when you go hard, you are going to get that call 9 out of 10 times.
It's on Hepburn, it's his third. Their final Big Monday doubleheader of the season is a big one. Number 2 Duke hosting a Wake Forest team that has really had a tough week trying to play its way back out of the bubble. Then Kansas, Houston. Cougars already clinched the Big 12 for a second straight year. That starts at 7 Eastern on ESPN Monday nights.
You know, that Chucky Hepburn foul is big here. Pat Kelsey's got to take him out.
Hepburn and Scott off the floor. Hadley and Smith return. 7-0 Pitt run. That's through the hands of Smith, saved by Roots. Edwards wants a Waterman screen. Edwards driving. 4 to shoot it. Edwards pulls up. Too deep. And Lowe with the rebound. Jaland Lowe taking the ear out of the ball a bit here with a 7-0 Pitt run. Step back 3. No good. Tipped out right to Smith, who does not have numbers.
That's a settle by Jaland Lowe. I think you got to try to test Brain Smith.
That was not a settle by Edwards. He's got 17. What an atmosphere in Louisville tonight. The glory days of Cardinal basketball are back. Leggett. There's Edwards. Waterman, too strong.
You know, Pitt has on these half-court possessions, they are essentially just going one-on-one. They are spreading the floor, finding the matchup, and attacking it.
Lowe bursting. And Leggett gets fouled by Smith, and a 1-and-1 for Ish Leggett coming up.
And I think if you're Leggett or Lowe, you have to know you always have that skip. The defense is reacting. They are plugging. They are coming to help on those two guys in particular. And it's big now that Pitt is in a bonus, because again, that's even more incentive to put your head, get the matchup you want, put your head down and drive it.
Hepburn's going to come back in, and remember, Pitt is a great free throw shooting team. 14th in the country, 78.4%. And Leggett misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Hepburn back on the floor, makes his presence known, and the foul.
You gotta love the move by Pat Kelsey, saying, look, I'm not messing around with this. I'm not keeping an all-league player on my bench in a one-possession game. I trust him with the 3 fouls. And Pitt has had a hard time stopping the ball in transition today. That's bad defense by Jaland Lowe. You have got to stop the ball and give more of an emphatic effort in doing that. You just you allow Chucky Hepburn to get right by you, puts a ton of pressure on the defense behind.
Hepburn's first missed free throw. His first points of the half after 24 in the first. 51-50 Louisville. The first game between these teams went right down to the wire. Will this one do the same?
Man, they had the roll.
Austin driving, throws up a prayer. And we will take a break. Physical second half. Back and forth we go with Louisville up by 1.
And they're obviously right in this game.
12 losses, 8 have been quad 1 games. 5 of those 8, 1 or 2 possessions. Great look for Smith, and he hits it through.
Pat Kelsey loves running things for Rain Smith out of timeouts to get a 3. Really nice setup, flare screen right there.
Oh, they have gotten so many good looks out of breaks this year, Louisville. Diaz Graham! This is his first 2-point attempt of the game. Diaz Graham lead back to 2. Edwards misses but is fouled.
Here's this out of timeout. Just they love this flare. You know, he gives it up. You kind of relax for a second as a defender. You cannot relax with Rain Smith. I mean, his shooting, he's as good as it gets nationally from the 3-point line.
You did a lot of scouting back in your coaching days. Pat Kelsey out of timeouts, out of breaks. What makes him such a difficult coach to prepare for?
Well, the players he has, first of all, because he's got a lot of dudes. I mean, I say that seriously. He's got a lot of guys he can draw stuff up for. But they run their stuff, to your point about Coach Kelsey, they run their stuff with great pace. And not all offenses do that. But, you know, they screen hard, they come off hard, and that's how you get guys open. And it's nice to have a guy like Smith who's pretty automatic from that 3-point line.
We saw them work on that exact play time and again during shoot-around today, and they find the right moment for it. And then Diaz Graham throws it off the back. It's still in bounds, and now it's not.
The play was there. Corn was open. You just got to be able to throw a lob pass.
6 turnover for Pitt. Pretty sure-handed team. Edwards takes a seat after hitting the free throws. Hepburn driving, hands it off, bobbled by Hadley. Lowe gets on the deck. Hadley shovels it to Smith. It's still with Louisville, 4 to shoot. It's going to have to be Hadley or not. Yeah, it should have been Hadley. It's a violation.
Another scrappy defensive possession by Pitt.
Their numbers without Damian Dunn has done for the season. Similar offensively, much worse defensively, but they have fought hard without him tonight. Leggett driving into the body of Smith. He lost it.
You know, they are trying to pick on that Rain Smith matchup. Either Ish, Leggett, or Lowe. If they get Rain Smith on him, they are spreading the floor and trying to drive him. There's got to be something there. I mean, there was a ton of contact. It's either a block or a charge. I think the officials got to blow a whistle there.
Scott yet to score, but he has 3 assists, 4 steals, and now he turns it over. Lowe. Austin, and a foul is called. Louisville fans in uproar. They thought Scott had it cleanly, but he's called for his second.
You know, ball security for Louisville has not been good here. Just an aggressive job coming through there by Lowe, and then a good decision to drop it back to the athlete behind you.
Austin, 49 of 55 at the line this year, and calmly hits the first. Two players with 45 blocks, 45 threes in the country this season. Zach Austin and Big Z, the other Big Z, Zvonimir Ivisic at Arkansas. Austin in a very quiet game, the first Louisville game. He's got 12 today. Hepburn, and a foul is called against Corhen on the drive. That's his 4th.
You know, that guard on Chucky Hepburn has got to get over. Chucky Hepburn's change of pace is as good as any guard nationally. I mean, it's one of his strengths as a ball handler. But Pitt is not. The priority in a ball screen is the ball. And either Cam Corhen's got to stay longer and level off Chucky Hepburn so that his guard can get under there. But a few times here in that high ball screen, Chucky Hepburn's had a head of steam downhill, free to the basket. And I think that's what Jason Capel's talking to Cam Corhen about right now.
So 9:28 to go. Pitt's starting 4-man Corhen is out of the game with 4 fouls. How long will they keep him on the bench? Hepburn with 28. Lowe drives, kicks for a 3 for Leggett. Missed it. Hepburn again. Cummings lying in wait. He's called for a blocking foul.
Transition defense is getting away from Pitt a little bit here. And Louisville feels it. Just a head of steam again. And he was there, but the veteran Hepburn slides to the side, and when it's awkward like that, the offense is always going to get the benefit of the doubt.
Hepburn 6 for 7 at the line today. A week ago, 17 free throws, 17 for 19 against Florida State. Your star stories, Hepburn and Edwards, 48 of the Louisville 59. Lowe, good day on the glass to go with his 14. Make it his 8th rebound for Jaland Lowe. Diaz-Graham for 3. Got his 3rd.
Big make, and that's the pick and pop. James Scott just not aware of his personnel. You've got to know, you're either got to switch that or he's got to get back with more of a sense of urgency.
Here's Kenai Roots, short, tapped around to Cummings.
Pitt's guards have done a nice job getting in there and defensive rebounding today.
+2 on the glass as a team, and That Louisville foul is going to put Pitt in the double bonus the rest of the way.
Scott, that's his third, 10th team foul.
Jaland Lowe in this high pick and roll, and just confusion from James Scott. It's a pick and pop. Louisville does not want to switch that because they want to keep Chucky Hepburn on Jaland Lowe. But James Scott, you got to know who you're guarding, and he just got spun around.
And he just got called for his third foul, sending Diaz-Graham to the line where he could tie it.
Edwards back in for the Cards, replacing Hepburn.
Diaz-Graham's hit some big shots in this second half.
Their first meeting this year against Louisville, Pitt lost that game by 4. Diaz-Graham had no points, 1 shot attempt in 10 minutes. He's got a dozen in 29 minutes today.
Big misses at the line, though, for Pitt.
9 for 13, plus a couple of those misses were 1-and-1 front ends. Still a 1-point Louisville lead. Edwards stripped. Diaz-Graham comes up with it, gets fouled.
It's a bad foul. Ball security has not been good for Louisville. And then you foul a guy 90 feet from your basket.
Should say Hadley with the foul, by the way, picks up his third. So this was before Diaz-Graham's free throw make. A little kiss.
I mean, in a post-COVID world, I don't know if kissing the ball is the right move.
Do we have to then spray Purell all over the ball before the next free throw? Oh,
Man.
Kiss of death.
The free throw line, where Pitt has been exceptional this season, has really let them down so far in this second half.
And another Pittsburgh steal. This is uncharacteristic sloppiness from Louisville. Scott switches on to Lowe. Lowe drives Scott. Lowe throws it over his head. Austin's there, and he gives Pitt the lead.
A lot of that's on Zach Austin. We're staying disciplined and staying in that corner. Lowe knew he was there.
Pitt by 3 on an answered prayer. Leggett gets down and dirty. It's another steal. Eight in a row for Pitt. They have 7 steals in the game. And 5 of those 7 have come here in the second half. Here comes Lowe. Got bumped, no foul. Lowe wants it. He better get back in the play. Scotts! Great Scotts! And Louisville will take a timeout off the Scott stuff.
If Jaland Lowe gets to his left hand, he's a stronger driver, and he can also make a pass with his left. How about that, Harlem Globetrotter? And then James Scott. Woo. It's been aggressive. I don't want to take away from their defense, but some of these have just been cough-ups by Louisville. You know, kind of lazy passes, hit in the passing lane, in denial.
It's a Pitt team that has 7 wins this year in games they trailed at halftime. Have come back from double digits 4 times. They were down 10 in this game, down at the half by 6. They've got the lead with 6.5 to go. And an offensive foul is going to turn it over. That will be our 8-minute media timeout. The last one was a Louisville called timeout. So you can go catch 2 minutes of Missouri Vandy and then come back. There you go, Tom.
Go to circle. It's picking the new age for student athletes. Scan the QR code on the video board.
62-61 Pitt. Pitt just 1-8 quad one this year. They've played their way off the bubble. They're not thinking about that now. This could still be a really dangerous team down the stretch. And they have fought hard to take a lead in Louisville. Chucky Hepburn, they'll be fouled, and this could be a free throw fest down the stretch. Both teams in the double bonus. Ish Leggett picks up his second. All right, we had 2 quick timeouts, so 2 long chances for huddles for Pat Kelsey and Jeff Capel. What are the points of emphasis down the stretch?
Well, I think these possessions become magnified. For Pitt, out of the last timeout before we went to commercial break again, you have a chance to draw up a play, you end up getting a moving screen. So, Louisville comes away with points here out of their timeout. We'll see what Pitt has drawn up, but this comes down to taking care of the basketball and finishing defensive possessions with a rebound.
Which Pitt has done well today. They're +4 turnovers. Hepburn's got 31, one shy of a career high. Diaz-Graham. Kept the pivot foot down. Lowe. Austin, deep one. Too deep. Hepburn the rebound. Sprinting down the floor. Here comes Chucky. He finds Smith off the fake. He had a hand in his face. Edwards does it. Missed it.
Boy, they get the ball up the floor in a hurry.
Pitt still without Corhead in the 4 fouls. He's been out for 4 minutes now. Leggett trying to draw a foul on Hepburn. Switched up with Scott, and a 3 off the side of the rim. Did Edwards touch it? No, he did not.
It's not a good shot. At some point, I think you've got to get some sort of penetration. Because again, like you said, you're assuming it's going to be a foul fest down the stretch. A trip to the free throw line. Team, you're in the double bonus. Make the defense have to defend you off of the dribble.
Have you seen Louisville adjust to that, or more Pitt being a little passive?
I think Pitt is settling. I think that was a settle from Ish Leggett.
Corhead comes back in. Been out since the 9:28 mark. He's on Hadley right now, but nobody's on Scott. Lowe lines up a 3. Leggett got to it, couldn't corral it.
Chucky Hepburn is a magician. I mean, it's not played well. You don't stop Chucky's ability to turn the corner, and then there is no tag defender coming over to help on that roll. And what a pass. Two straight threes, back-to-back possessions from Pitt. Neither were close.
And they're now just 10 for 29 from 3. Hepburn. Starting 5's out there for Louisville. Hadley, step back 3. Down to Lowe.
You got to play inside out. Those threes can come, but they got to come off of penetration.
Leggett lost it. Hepburn. He lost it too, and there's a foul. Kip Kissinger comes in for the backside with a Pitt foul.
What a steal on the other end by Chucky Hepburn. Watch him just reach around Ish Leggett. Fights over the top of that, and then right from behind. And even comedy of errors here down the end of it. And I'm not quite sure why that ends up a foul. I mean,
it's Leggett's 3rd, and Hepburn with 32. Louisville, by the way, 22-0 when leading with 5 minutes to go this season. And Pat Kelsey said it this week. We have closers. We've got figured out guys. And they missed some big free throws, those closers. Austin, another good look.
Really good look. Design play, you get him on a flare. Jaland Lowe takes a ton of attention. Austin was open.
Pitt has missed its last 5, going on 4 minutes without a point. Little rub from Smith. Hepburn drives it. Hepburn, a new career high, 34. Lowe found Leggett. And Corhen chases it down, and then I think there was a whistle in there somewhere and a foul on Rain Smith. You can barely hear the whistle at this point, but Louisville's got a 6-point lead. The Cardinal closers trying to lock down a 17th win in their last 18. Tyrese Proctor Tuesday looked like a bad injury at Miami. They say it's just a bone bruise, and they hope to have him back soon. And Duke a game up on Louisville in the ACC. Clemson is right there now, a half game back. These top 3 teams in the league, they'll get the double bye. Pitt's trying to spoil Louisville right here. Look, they're a great free throw shooting team, but as you've noted, there have been some bad misses.
Well, and this guy at the line is not. This is only 61% on the year for Corn.
Foul is on Rain Smith going to the break.
Pure. These are must-make free throws.
And he made them both.
This is going to be a Chucky Hepburn high ball screen, and Pitt has had a lot of trouble with this over the last 5 minutes.
A career high 34. The rest of his team combined has 34. Leggett, the primary defender. There's a little rub from Smith. Hepburn out for Edwards. 5 to shoot it. Edwards trying to create. He does.
They got a lot of guys who can beat you and a lot of guys who can create a shot at the end of a shot clock.
Edwards and Hepburn combined for 55 of the 70. Lowe driving in on Scott and stopped by Scott. And he blocked it off of Lowe.
Lowe gets to his left hand, but how about that from James Scott? That drive from Terrence Edwards again, just an individual play he goes and makes.
Edwards with 21, Hepburn 34, and wow. A foul from the midcourt line will give Hepburn a chance at 35 and 36.
They said it at the top. This is a team. Chucky, Hepburn, Javon Hadley, and Rain Smith have all gone for 30 at one point this year. Terrence Edwards has come close. So you've got 4 guys on your team who are all capable of going for 30. That type of versatility, it puts a ton of pressure on the defense and having to guard your individual matchup because each of those guys is an accomplished scorer.
And Hepburn, a new career high at 32 against West Virginia earlier in the year. That was down in the Bahamas. He's got 36 today. Lowe for 3. Another missed 3. Austin high points it. Last field goal for Pitt about 5.5 minutes ago.
Wow.
Until now, timeout Jeff Capel on the Lowe layup. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. Pitt down by 6. Really tough finish by Jaland Lowe. He's got 16, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. If you are looking for Georgia, Texas, that game is over on ESPNU. Last team in versus the first team out of Joe Lunardi's projected bracket right now, the SEC. But a big one here, 2:07 to go. Louisville inbounding up 6.
Pitt just pick it up. Force a little time to come off the clock. I would imagine, again, they can get into it. Get Chucky Hepburn with the ball. And that high ball screen again, that rub.
And now Lowe draws the assignment. Leggett and Corhen have 4 fouls. Hepburn goes around the screen. Hepburn pushed it out. Smith, end of the clock. No, and Hadley couldn't get it. Jaland Lowe, 90 seconds to play, 6-point game. Lowe wraps it around. Diaz, Graham would go. Corhen had it for a moment, got stripped by Smith, and he's fouled.
Cam Corhen, you just got to squeeze the pill, man. You get a great look, another wonderful delivery in that right corner from Jaland Lowe. Guerrero Diaz-Graham, just a really quality look. And then Cam Corhen had it. He had it in his hands.
And he is now fouled out for his 2nd consecutive game, 6.7 rebounds. And here's a guy who's 47 of 50 at the line this year, making 48 of 51. The Louisville Cardinals, 1 win away from a 16th conference win. Obviously, it's a larger conference schedule, but will be a new conference win record in Louisville basketball history. With 2 to go. Lowe, Diaz-Graham's all alone. Another missed 3 for Pitt. Austin gets it back to Lowe. Cummings will hoist. That's way short. And it's going to be Louisville ball.
Sometimes it comes down to hitting an open shot. And Louisville is not going to let Jaland Lowe hurt them. The shots that he has hit over the last couple minutes have been really tough shots. The wide open ones have been these other guys. And these are the games on the road, trying to beat a good team. You got to hit those open looks.
All right, we're in an official review to see the out of bounds, who's got possession. So quickly, let's go back to DC. Dallin, thank you. So Zach Austin at 7:39 gave Pitt a 62-59 lead with the 3. It's a 15-4 Louisville run since. Pitt has missed its last 9 threes. Just ballparking them. How many of those 9 threes have been good looks?
I think 2 of them in that early stretch you're talking about. Zach Austin had one off a set play. Ish Leggett had a wide open one on the left wing. And then these last couple have been open looks. Now, they're not from your best player. But again, when the opponent is trying to take your best player out of the game in order to pull an upset on the road, one of these other guys has to step up and make a shot. And they just haven't been able to do it down the stretch.
Officials are still reviewing the last shot. It was called Louisville ball. It looked like Edwards got a hand on it, unless it came off somebody else's hand on the way at another angle. Certainly punched by Terrence Edwards. Then there's the matter of the clock as well to review. All right, let's say this is Pitt ball. Where do you look here if you're Jeff Capel with your team in a 3-point slump?
I think if you have an under out of bounds set for a 3, I think you've got to pull it out of your pocket here. You don't necessarily need 3.
Out of bounds has been overturned. Blue ball, 14 seconds on the shot clock. 14 seconds on the shot clock.
So you're side out of bounds here, and if you've got something for Leggett coming off, that's your time. Set play, you can take a three. If you don't have it, though, otherwise this has got to go downhill, Kevin. Into the paint, you're in the double bonus, and then play inside out.
Lowe's going to inbound it. Cummings on the floor. Leggett, Austin, Diaz, Graham. Leggett, he will go downhill, drive, and score. And Jeff Capel uses his third timeout. It's a 6-point game. So Leggett, the fourth Pitt player in a double figures. He's had a tough shooting night, 1 for 8 from 3. Louisville has 2 timeouts, Pitt just the 1. Do you start fouling immediately if you're Pitt?
Yeah, I think you do, but not immediately. Like, I think you can let this ball come in. Louisville's been a little loose with it, and they've seen a couple possessions of pressure, so let Louisville feel your pressure. See if you can induce something here, and then, you really, they shoot it so well from the line. If any of these guys outside of Rain Smith, you lay a foul on.
And Smith's going to inbound it to Hepburn. Oh, he got held up by Lowe, who is called for a foul, his third.
Number 15, Lowe, that's his third.
See, I think he catches it in that deep corner. I think he got time to throw a little bit of a trap on, see what Chucky Hepburn does in there.
And the line for the Cards, number 24, Hepburn.
Chucky Hepburn's 12 for 15 at the line. Again, 1 week ago, Louisville record 17 makes. There's number 13.
Number 9, Leggett, back in. Replacing number 52,
Leggett back on the floor. He had checked out because of the fouls. Another miss by Hepburn. 3-possession game. Lowe driving it. Diaz, Graham. Back for Lowe. He's got Scott on him. Way off the mark for 3. Edwards is fouled off the rebound with 42.3 remaining. Largest crowd of the season in Louisville tonight, 18,459. They have been vociferous all game long.
Edwards at the line, he'll shoot 2.
And if Louisville can hit its free throws, hang on to the ball, this home crowd's going to be rewarded with another win. It will be 7 straight for Louisville. It will be 17-1 in the last 18. And this team, December 14th, lost to Kentucky. They have 1 loss in 2.5 months since, at Georgia Tech a month ago. Edwards and Hepburn have led the way. Edwards with 23, Hepburn 37, and there's a steal. Edwards down the floor. Chucky will give it to Hadley. He's got 37, and he still plays unselfish. And Hepburn's got it, and Pitt's not going to foul now. Only one man who could handle the ball in these final seconds, the way this thing's gone. A career night for Chucky Hepburn with 37 points. Another hard-fought, gritty, grimy Louisville victory. They win it by 11.